This is a piece called So What. It was inspired after a gentleman came up to me after a poetry reading and told me, when you mention revolution and oppressed people in a poem, it is no longer a poem. So this is called So What for the white dude who said this ain't poetry. A faucet dripping arrogance and sycophantic half steps. A literary Tarzan saving the natives from their own ignorance. Short on knowledge, long on knowing, he instructs without reference. Ain't poetry. No dialect is needed, Sambo. Your thing is just not poetry, said the Gold Coast representative. Never been in the mines, never sweated riches, but Buana knows best. A minute man with a culture 30 seconds old ain't poetry. Maybe if I throwed soup cans in it, or something obscure, dark, and cryptic, alluded to hackneyed, overhyped dead writers and avoided references to the dark continent of my origin, this work could be saved. Ain't poetry. A minute rice analysis, cracker instant oats, pour in Europe and stir, a cold water recipe. Meanwhile, my village dances to simmering rhythms spiced by intellectual development measured in tens of thousands of years. Homer, his lips stuck to the chilly nipple of his mother's frozen breast, could only dream of civilization as dark men and women built pyramids and shaped words to fit eternity. Poets retired and came back as ancestor spirits while Greece contemplated a working alphabet and gods. But this shit ain't poetry because Johnny come lately say so and he should know. Ain't poetry. Our systems were a mystery. Alexander burned all that he and Aristotle couldn't understand. The ensuing blaze warmed the ice-capade continent as the pillaging plagiarizers worked their unmagic in the fire's light. Ain't poetry. The sales on your scholarship are bloody. You scribble death upon the pages of the world and persecute your brightest stars in favor of whoring scribes who search for insignificance to entertain the inane. So this ain't poetry. It ain't India either, sucker. What is round and rotating and will never fit into a box marked trite poetic conventions, the world and its inhabitants. You are trying to fold it in half to place it neatly into your square mind. Ain't poetry. Ain't that a bitch? A new jack disc, half empty memory banks. Your culture is validated by gunpowder. Your qualifications are shaky like this bamboo bridge stretched across the white supremacist waters of your existence. You are a missionary trying to convert art into God we trust. You ain't got no juice. Your academia pimps creativity. A day late, a dollar short, always missing the bus. You are peeing in the snow while we design a papyrus for the living. A patronizing peeping Tom, CNN, but unable to decipher without an Oxford interpreter. This is what we are, a black fire burning across the pages of your Random House Guide to Modern American Poetry, where you cannot find references to shine or even signifying monkeys. The drumming you hear coming from the hills ain't poetry either. But of course it is. It is the Maroons planning your demise. It is ritual music and David Walker's appeals. It is brown hips dancing verses. It is what it feels like, punk, to be kissed by full lips. It is natural like Sun Ra returning in a Charlie Parker spaceship from galaxies with no name while Europe sails the wrong way in search of a shortcut to imperialism. Damn, Columbus, you are lost and desperate and denying the only music you really hear. You riffing with a trumpet that plays one note while the planet bees and bops like Coltrane star hopping through the theloniosphere while a white boy from Downbeat magazine screams, that ain't music, that ain't music, that ain't music. Yeah, that ain't music and this ain't poetry, you say. We are like Miles, a whirlwind with a red trumpet blowing blue stanzas saying, so what? Yeah, goddammit, so what?